Howdy, y'all. Ah, me unscheduled. Yes, once again. And here we go. HOWDY. Because I like to say howdy. Oh. Good morning, Everett. How are you doing today? Man, it's barely morning left for me. About 25 minutes left total. I am going to be smoking a San Latano, Connecticut Toro. It came out of a 20 pack, but that's not what they charged. I'm doing really, really well. Trimmed out a crepe myrtle. Those are those pink trees that grow like real straight twigs, have almost a pencil type feel to the wood. They're no good for nothing but putting a little shade where I want it. I found out from my mother-in-law, you trim them suckers back all the way to the knobs that they form from where you trimmed them the first time. And you just do that every year, and they grow bushier and bushier and bushier, and you damn near can't kill them. At least not here in the Houston area. You probably could destroy them up there in Canada. I'm not going to say that you can't. I don't know enough about growing anything to tell you much of nothing about it. But I was asked an interesting to me question yesterday. Somebody, I'm not mentioning names because it doesn't matter who, they brought a good question to me, and yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you, Everett. They tell me put dirt there. I do. They tell me put sand and rocks in that dirt, and I do. And then they tell me put these plants in that dirt, and I do. And my mother-in-law knows all this stuff. Hell, she could get a gold bar to grow if I could figure out a way to grab one and plant it. Trust me on that one. She's crazy good at it. All right. Going with the punch, the old Zycar. Because I don't want to be thinking about it. I just want to smoke the damn thing. San Latano by AJ Fernandez. Decent stick if you like Nicaraguans and peppers, almost anything from AJ Fernandez, and I'll show you. You will see that his name is right. There we go, AJ Fernandez. I think it came in pretty clear. Now this is a Connecticut. It's kind of a morning with coffee stick. Hey, guess what? I brought coffee. Not very much, but I brought it. And I was thinking, you know what? I finished up my little bit of yard work here at the house. I got a little while before lunch. I'm gonna have a cigar. And that got me to thinking. Give me a second. Well, it got me to thinking about that question that I was mentioning. And it was just recently, so it's still pretty fresh in my mind. But someone asked me, how many hours do I spend putting out videos every week on YouTube, whether it's by some streaming app or not. I figure I'm somewhere between 3 and 8 hours a week. Not that I've got a big channel. Not that I need it to be a big channel. Okay. I remember liking it. I still do. Notes of cream, slight touches of caramel, feeling in my nose like I've just walked through hay, like a hay barn. That's just a feeling, though. That's not something I'm saying I'm tasting. That's just a feeling. It kind of tickles back there. Like you've got hay dust in your damn nostrils. Makes you maybe want to sneeze, even though it's not that strong. And as always, pepper. AJ Fernandez is almost synonymous with pepper. I'd say if you know enough about peppercorns, green pepper, as far as the green peppercorns go, not black pepper, not red pepper, which is actually spicier, and not white pepper, which is actually really mild, but the green ones, they're more of a savory. It's still pepper, don't get me wrong. A lot of people can't tell the difference, and I'm not expecting you to, but if you know what you're looking at and you like green pepper, it's a pretty good stick. Exactly, Everett. It really doesn't matter how much time you spend doing it. But here's what I've come to figure out. I didn't start off to go 8, 12, 15 hours on the internet every day, because I don't. I come in, I sit down, I set my phone. That's why you always pretty much see me right here in the same spot. When you're not seeing this brick wall behind me, that's because I'm facing that brick wall and sitting where my camera is, which normally means it's at night, and I want the light in my face, not in yours. But what it really comes down to is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have a smoke. Now, I can sit here and play a video game or read a book if I've got any. Kind of a little low on books right now just because with the pandemic I don't go to the bookstore or the library. And trying to get things out of the library is difficult because I've read most everything that interests me at the library. I could sit here and do something stupid. I don't have anybody to play checkers or chess with. Of course, saying that, now Chad's probably going to challenge me. And he'll likely win. It's been forever since I've played chess actively. But I just decided, you know what? Stop trying to be a sissy about it. Just get in here, hit record, and start babbling. Let whatever comes out your damn mouth be whatever shows up. Of course, I also make sure to 100% say my channel is not for people who are easily offended. I might not mean to offend you, but sooner or later I've gotten almost everybody. I got a sense of humor. I like to talk shit. What? Plus, I'm kind of the prototypical Texan. Howdy, Steph. I'm pretty sure it's just Steph. Well, I appreciate that, Everett. I do have a lot of information about cigars. I worked in a cigar shop. Kind of hard to sit there and tell somebody I don't know anything about cigars. When I worked in a cigar shop, I actively tried to figure out ways to make people spend more of their money on cigars. Whether they wanted to or not, they were not leaving my shop without at least hearing about, hey, this is something you can do, that's something you could do. Steph, Skip, are y'all doing a massive Yabo video or are y'all doing a massive live Yabo? It's very different. If you're doing a massive live Yabo, you let me know when you're going to go and I will jump over onto your channel. If you're doing a massive Yabo video, I'll keep us entertained while everybody else is off recording and then of course uploading, which if you're me, uploading, seriously. Here's why I go live as much as I do. I can record a video. Let's say I record 40 minutes, just 40 minutes. We all know I can fill up 40 minutes almost straight babbling, never smoke, never drink, nothing, just straight blah, 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 blah. We should all know that by now. Howdy, Burley Nut Bob. Good to see you. Good to put a face to the name also. Caught you on a certain somebody else's channel yesterday. Oh yeah. Well, Jeff and I do tend to like, I believe it's Jeff. I'm going to stick with that. Aromatics. He and I like similar cigars. Now, I'm not going to say we always like the same cigars, but similar enough cigars that I can say we like similar cigars. So if you do happen to like the cigar he gave you, chances are you'd happen to like most of the cigars I'm going to mention. Not a problem, Bob. Howdy, Todd. Hey, everybody remember, Steph and Skip are going to be putting in a massive Yabo video for Skip today because it's his birthday. And by the way, Steph and Skip, if y'all are there, happy birthday, Skip. Love y'all. If y'all are not there, well, I'm hoping y'all will get back to me and I can say it. But yes, I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of videos in the live format because without a doubt, I can record a, oh, It's a Padron. Yep. Call Jeff, tell him he's your friend, because that is a damn fine friend. Anybody going to give you a Padron, that's a friend. I don't care who they are. I have never been able to say enough good things about Padron. The only one bad thing I've ever seen at all that I've ever said about Padron is that they do box press. And I'm not too much of a fan of box press, because I like to roll my cigars in my hand. And that's just a sensory thing that I like to do, and it's harder to do with a box press unless it's really like almost exactly square. And most the good box presses are not square, they're kind of rectangular. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with box press. That just means my preference. But yeah, so let's say I make a 40-minute video, and then I start uploading. 4 hours later, it's still struggling to finish uploading and buffering and all the other digitizing. You know what? I got so damn tired of waiting for YouTube to finally allow the video to upload. And then it's like 2 days before it actually shows up on people's feeds saying, hey, this guy posted another video. And the hell with it. I'd muchly prefer just to sit here, have a conversation, even if it's meaning that you have to text to me, then I've got to read it, and then I've got to give a reply to it. I like being able to actually talk to people live. It's much more interesting that way. But then again, there's also the other side of this. It is possible that somebody out there is having a bit of a rough time, and they just need a friendly voice just to chat at for a couple of minutes, just to take their mind off of the crap that's going on every damn day. I mean, what is it? It's a year of COVID already. I think we're tired of even hearing the word COVID. So when I go out, if I've got the time to actually put the phone on and make some sort of any kind of video, it's what I run through and do. Pipes and bees. Now you're just showing off. He's got a Padron for later from Jeff. Got some haunted bookshop in a pipe that Pipes and Bees gave to him. It's all right. Show it off, brother. Show it off. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Well, I'm glad that, Bob, you could come by and say hi. Whether you're at work or whatever. And take care of all of that plume on that stuff. Don't get crazy, because people, if they once they know what it is, they're going to go crazy for it. But Everett, you're not showing off. It's fine. Hell, if I got a pipe and it's from somebody that everybody should know, I'm going to say it when I'm smoking it. I know I will. Because that's what friends should be doing. Hey, look this pipe. This I got from this person. At some point, they're going to get some more follows just because of that statement. You're not showing off. That's just helping out. Oh, yeah. Definitely showed up in the Zoom with Chad, and, well, yesterday also the Zoom with Chad. And Bob, I'm going to tell you, this is probably the greatest single hinge community that I've ever been a part of. And by single hinge, I mean pipes and tobacco. We hinge on that. We might have all kind of different viewpoints on various different things. Howdy, Pipe Grump. Glad to see you. Oh, you missed yesterday's. I thought you were there. It's all right. Not everybody's got to be there. But yes, I think that we all hinge on pipes and tobacco. All right, so I go into a little bit more of the cigars than most of the pipe and pipe tobacco crew. But that's what I learned first. 17 years old, physically fit, cock of the walk, stupid kid. Drill sergeant, tired of me being how I was back then, said, fine, have a cigar. Oops. 3 days of sifting sand out of his sand pit. Yeah. He didn't tell me how to smoke it. I didn't know you shouldn't inhale. Oops. Bob, you be careful and know that we're thinking about you, brother. Everett, I am right there with you. If it is a good enough cigar that I really want to finish it, I'll let it go out. I'll stuff it into a pipe with a little bit of pipe tobacco underneath it, light it back up, and finish it. I like to put a little bit of pipe tobacco underneath here at where the cap is, just to make a good seat. It seems to make the draw more complete. Don't ask me why. I've just found that seems to be true for me. Now, I like pipes too, though. It's not a question I like pipes. Hell, I started liking pipes so much that Phil from the Briar Report told me I should make a blog and start reviewing tobacco. I did. I put out a couple of pieces. It used to be I put out one 5 days a week. No, actually, when I started, I put out one every day. One entry every day. And I came to the conclusion I can't do that. I don't have enough to talk about. So I started condensing those into a better review, single review. But the flavors, okay, what you're tasting, how you're tasting, what you should be getting out of any tobacco. It's the same process. Not exactly the same tobacco, but the same process of what you taste in a cigar, how it feels in your mouth, what you can explain other people should be able to taste, and be able to steer something at somebody's flavor profile. That's the same as pipe tobacco. They should be able to taste this, this, and this. If you can't taste 5 or 6 different flavor notations, so what? If you get 2, you're normal. If you're some sort of chef and you spend a lot of time around food, you're going to catch what I'm saying a whole lot more. Not because I was a chef, but because I spent a lot of time around food. Have not tried Habana Daydream. Mostly because every time I want a cigar, I have a cigar. And every time I want a pipe, I want something that doesn't exactly taste like cigars. And when I do want a pipe and for it to taste like a cigar, I chop up the Leaf by Oscar. Now, Leaf by Oscar is a cigar that comes wrapped in a full-size cigar leaf. Now, you're supposed to unwrap that leaf and then smoke your cigar. Well, instead of throwing that leaf out, I put it in a plastic bag and let it just sit there until I want something that tastes a little more cigarish. And then I chop it up and put it in with a little bit of whatever I'm smoking, and I get that sense of a cigar. Now, normally I'll stick to Englishes or heavy Latakia blends or vapors. I won't go very much into any aromatic with a cigar, just because I don't really like aromatic cigars. It doesn't say that I don't respect them for what they are. It's not really at my flavor profile. Now, cigars are not cheap. In fact, it's the most expensive version of tobacco. And pound for pound, if we have to look at it, pipe tobacco is actually the cheapest version of tobacco. Cigarettes, pound for pound, are more expensive. Snuff, pound for pound, is more expensive. Chew, pound for pound, is more expensive. Dip, plugs, whatever you call it. Pipe tobacco is actually the least expensive option. You can hate me for pointing that out, but I've known several people that were staying pretty much broke and buying 5 cigars for a week. And I convinced them. I said, look, get a little corncob pipe. Get yourself a small bag of some pipe tobacco. Smoke the pipe tobacco through the week, and on the weekends, have yourself 2 cigars. 2 much better cigars than what you would have spent on all 5 of those cigars, because you're going to save money across the space of time. Come to find out I was right. Then the other side is, they started spending just as much as they were spending, but now they were only buying 2 cigars, but they were still getting to smoke throughout the week because they were smoking a pipe. Also, any of my road warriors out there, and by road warriors I mean the people who drive for a living. And I'm not talking just truck drivers. I'm talking about those people that make business trips and they're always in the car and they are sitting there complaining that their back hurts. Their diet is mostly fast food because that's what they can get while they're rolling down the road. For those guys, I'm telling you, a pipe is much easier. You fill 2 or 3 bowls when you're at the gas station filling up. If you're a long haul trucker, you fill 4 or 5. You know, get yourself a set of pipes. They can all be corn cobs. They don't have to be expensive. Pack those bowls while you're there at the gas station. Then when you get back in, you set them up so that when you get ready to smoke, you just reach over, grab hold of one, hit it with the Bic or Zippo, set the Zippo back down where it's going to be, drive along with your window cracked just a little bit, making good time, having a good smoke, not dropping ashes all over your work shirt or down in your lap or off in the seats of your truck or car or whatever. Howdy, Dell. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, though, brother. If anybody gets offended by me saying brother, BOTL, brother of the leaf. SOTL, sister of the leaf. And, of course, I don't see color the way a lot of people do. You'd have to understand. I was raised with a dad who was Navy. And then I went in the Army, and my son's in the Air Force. Hell, my son married a black woman. Love that woman, too. She's awesome. Could not be happier for my son. Because content of character outweighs color of skin every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I am doing very well, Dell. I'm glad to see you. Quite simply, every time I sit down to have a smoke during the day, I think, get on here and let's go live and see who's out there. Like I said, sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. And it doesn't have to be, oh my God, here's my problems. Sometimes it's just the simple method of saying, you know what? Here we are, as humans, what we should be if we could all get past the political, religion, all the craziness that humans naturally do just because they like things to fit into small little compact groups. YTPC, we've got members in just about every country. See, there it is. Maybe you're in a country that's not in a normal time zone. And normal for me, of course, is central, because I'm here in Houston, thanks. But if someone's in Australia or someone's in Europe or somewhere else, what their normal time is going to be completely different from me. So making videos throughout the day it's a good way to connect globally instead of always being, okay, well, I'm going to do this at a convenient time for my time zone. I am smoking a San Latano Connecticut Toro, and that is produced by AJ Fernandez. I just pulled the AJ Fernandez band off, and his little, that AJ right there, anytime you see a cigar that has that AJ, that means it's an AJ Fernandez. Now, some of them are not really labeled so well that it's AJ Fernandez, but you'll see that AJ on his bands every time. So 5:45 p.m. in the UK, you know, that's average for someone who's now off work, or maybe they're on the drive home, or they're fixing a meal, or they're you know, if you're a little bit later in the day, like some tend to be, maybe you're at home and you're just relaxing. This is a good time. That's why I do unscheduled live. It's because A, I'm sitting down to have a cigar or a pipe, and B, I know there's other people out there in the world that can definitely just chill with me. Oh, AJ's are fantastic cigars. One of the most respected names in the industry, in my opinion. But you gotta like pepper. I have never found any of his sticks, except for the recent Dominican that he put out under the San Latano badge. Comes in a blue box, and so it'll have that basic label, but it'll be blue and it'll say Dominicana, I believe. No pepper there at all, which was like, but when you're expecting pepper and you don't get pepper, it's pretty brutal. The pipe building is going. I am right now collecting the right tools so that I can actually do what I'm planning on doing. And I have taken about 500 measurements, and I've started drawing out what I want to do on the side of the pipe so that I can get all sides filled in, and I know what I need to take off, how much I need to take off, where it needs to be taken. Because I obviously don't want to do those screw ups where and I'm prone to do it myself, but where I make something that if I would have measured a few more times and drawn it out a few more times, I would have seen I'm about to make a mistake. I don't want to do that. Well, this Connecticut, if you really know pepper, it's like green peppercorns. It's not too spicy, but it's not like bad. It's there, savory. It's somewhere between white pepper and black pepper in strength. I'm still getting notes of cream and caramel. Now, those are faint. If you can't taste them, don't be surprised. So yes, I am very, very pragmatic and very, I hate to say it, but I'm anal about this shit. I am not going to just rush in there and start carving away just to find out that I've screwed up a pipe. When it's a new project, something that I'm trying to actively learn, really, truly actively learn, I sit down and I ask a bunch of questions, and I start going through the list, and I make notes, and I start measuring 85,000 different things. I wish for you, Del, that the taxes on cigars were not so crazy expensive, because I mean, we've already kind of discussed how expensive a cigar is. This was $7. what y'all pay is going to be extremely higher. I'm not afraid to say I am happy to be a spoiled American and Texan when it comes to taxes. I know that the taxes for the rest of the world are indeed higher. Sure, people say, oh yeah, but our minimum wage is way up there. Yeah, but when the government's taking 60% of your paycheck and then they tax the crap out of everything else that you buy, how much is that extra minimum wage actually making? Nothing. They're going to still get you. Oh yeah, if y'all could get cigars for like $7, y'all'd be freaking ecstatic. I know this. Between Everett and Dell, I know for certain y'all would be. Boris has actually actively said, we all know who Boris is, at least I hope we do. He's actively said he takes a 4-hour ferry from Finland to Estonia so that he can buy cigars. And then he brings them back to Finland. You don't spend that much time, because remember, that's 8 hours of a day where you can't do shit. Eight hours just to go get cigars. That is like driving from Houston to Dallas and back to Houston to get cigars. Well, you're ahead of me if you've got Bitcoin. I am not a big stock market atista. But I do have quite a bit of money squirreled away in some various different 401ks. It's kind of how I check the economy, how it's doing. There's a certain 401k I haven't put money in years, but the company has allowed me to keep my money in the company, and it's a good, reputable company. I'm seriously doubtful that they are going to go under. I know for a well enough fact that 200 and something plus years, plus constantly making money, even in this environment, they're not going under. So I'm still going to see some money at the end of all this. But I know when the economy is bad, the growth rate goes down to nothing, and sometimes it looks like I'm actually losing money. And when the economy's good, that money comes racing right back. These damn hairs sticking me in the lip. In case you're wondering what I'm doing. Oh yeah, getting in at the ground floor of something. I mean, if you could go back to 1995-ish and you could buy into Yahoo or Google, you'd be filthy rich already. I actually have a couple of actual legitimate stocks that have doubled or split or whatever, and profits come in. I see them. I know where they are at. I'm not going to touch them unless I absolutely have to. Oh yeah, you're exactly right. Inflation can eat up profits faster than you can make them. And you got to wait until inflation goes back down. And of course, you're always hoping that you get a lucky couple of splits or some sort of buyout where your stocks get rolled over and paid for. Well, I'm not completely an idiot. I don't play the stock market probably as much as I should. But I made good decisions on which stock portfolio to basically diversify into. And it takes money to make money. You know the old statement there? I mean, I'm not rich, but I'm not broke. Of course, as Mike points out on his show, I'm not moving to British Columbia either. Because BC stands for Bring Cash. Well, if you can get in and do crypto or metals is good, and medical stocks. Medical stocks are always going to be good. That's part of why I made such a damn good killing recently, is because medical. Just being honest, with the whole COVID thing, big corporations are dumping tons of money into medical. What's the price of stocks doing? Exactly. And mostly medical stocks don't actually ever go down. They'll split, they'll double, but they don't ever seem to go down. Anybody who was listening to me back when COVID was basically first announced, September, late November, anywhere in that area of 2019 now, I started telling people, get into medical stocks, because when they finally figure out a way to get around this COVID stuff, those stocks are going to be huge money worth. It doesn't matter if you bought stocks in a company that only makes IV bags or medical tubing or hypodermic needles for use of whatever. Medical is killing it right now. But you had to move on that before COVID got to the point where it did, because then all those stocks went really, really expensive. Now, here's one of the things I love about AJ Fernandez. That is actually, well, it's a computer representation reproduction of AJ Fernandez's actual signature, with 3 small errors. That way nobody can get his signature off of that and put it on checks and start cutting checks that they shouldn't be. I know what the 3 small errors are. I actually have a box that I bought that was signed. Truly signed. Watched him sign it. Of course, it was signed with a marker. But there's some small things that are different. I'm not going to discuss that, because anybody who's going to forge AJ Fernandez needs to probably go out and shoot themselves. Stealing. I don't hold with thievery. I mean, if you're stealing like a little bit of a YouTube song while you're waiting for people to populate your show, you're just trying to give something to the people who are watching you, going like, What's this guy doing? Well, at least there's some music playing. Yeah, I don't see too many people taking his signature from the backs of his cigars and getting any kind of free stuff. Sad thing is, most of these cigar manufacturers, yes, they've got some money to produce the factory and all of that. To make cigars takes some money. Problem is, they have to reinvest so much of their own money back into the company every year just to keep the improvements and the new blends and everything else coming along. Remember, companies like cigars and pipe tobacco, if they're not growing, they're dying. I mean, go look at McClelland's. Yeah, we're all sad to see them go, but they weren't growing anymore. And they decided to retire and hang it up, take their pipe tobacco knowledge with them. Sad for us, the smokers, but hey, you got a choice. You can either sell out and worry about it, but if you've got enough money, who cares? Well, owning and running a business that is actively being attacked on all fronts by all governments, that's a little bit of a stress. If you think about it, every government on the planet puts a certain amount of a tax on tobacco. I agree with you, Dell. If you've got a product and it's a damn good product and you can figure out a way to make a profit, bravo. If you price yourself out of the market, but you still got to be able to make a profit after paying all the expenses, plus being able to add something so that you're not going to get stale. If somebody tried to start a tobacco business right now, they would be in serious hurt. Half customers can't afford you, and the ones that can, you got to pry them away from where they've already at. Everett, you be careful. Have a great day. Dell, I definitely agree with you. The big tobacco companies are actually providing jobs, and hell, whole communities are dependent upon them. If you go down around the factories in Esteli, Nicaragua, and almost all of those are all centered around tobacco, mostly cigars. Whole towns and villages have grown up around these factories. And for miles around, people are either working in the fields or they are bringing product in from various fields, or they are actively inside the factory / warehouse doing what needs to be done. Some of them even go as far as to provide schools for those towns and villages, and medical facilities for those same towns and villages. And I mean, it pours a lot of money into those areas. And these people don't really have to, but they do it because it's kind of the right thing to do. Oh, goodness. Here I've been babbling on for 56 minutes already. All right. Because I like to keep these down to about an hour, just so that if people start watching them later, they don't get completely bogged down with, oh my God, this is going to take 2 hours. What the hell? I'm going to get on out of here. It's been great catching up with you, Del, Everett, Todd, Steph and Skip. Anybody else who happens to come by and say hi, hey, you can always leave me messages. If you got a time that you want me to try and hit throughout the week, I'll see what I can do. As always, y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other as best you can. And, as normal, long lives, big bowls, long ashes. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon.